Good morning, dear students. Now, please take your page number 114 and chapter we are reading is 11, the mechanical. Okay, so the little mechanical we are reading. I have already read the first page with you in the live class, and today we'll be reading 114 page, right? So, I shall begin. Let me also tell you the previous thing that we have read. We have read about his childhood, that he was a very intelligent boy and he started living with his grandfather and grandmother, and after some time he was very good at maths and physics. Because of that he has a lot of curiosity to learn many things, and he thought to become a different person in his life, and finally he became an architecture. Okay, and from there we are going to read the stanza. Become an architecture and would build splendid mansions and churches too, with the tallest steeples that had ever been seen in England. So he became a great architect. What do you mean by architect? All of you know architect, the one who makes the building. Okay, so he became one of the architects who made lot of churches and built lot of buildings which had ever been seen by people of England. Some of our friends no doubt advised Isaac's grandmother to send him for train to clockmaker, because besides his mechanical skill, the boy seems to have a taste of mathematics, which would be very useful to him in clockmaking. So because other thought that he is very good at math, so he is better to make clocks, so he started learning that. Indeed was very reason to believe that Isaac would become a cloak manufacturer. He had made a kind of cloak that nobody had ever heard of before. It was set to work not by wheels and weights like other clocks, but by dropping of water. This was an object of great wonder to all the people in Woolstrop. Okay, so he did not make a big clock, but he made a clock which runs with the water. Besides the water clock, Isaac made sundial. Now his grandmother was never at a loss to know the time. The water clock would tell the time in the shed and the sundial in the sunshine. So what do you mean by sundial? Uh, it's simple. Simple mean a sundial. It's earlier we might have noticed we used to keep a stick, and as the shade of the sun comes upon the stick, the different times there is a low shade, high shade, so different kind of shades becomes, and it's known as a sundial. Isaac had a wonderful ability to acquire knowledge by simplest means. For instance, what method do you think he used to find out the strength of the wind? You will never guess how the boy would make the unseen, inconstant, and ungovernable wonder. The wind tell him the measures of its strength, yet nothing can be simpler. He jumped against the wind, and by the length of his jump, he could calculate the force of gentle breeze, a brisk gale, or a tempest. Thus, even in the boyish sports, Isaac was continually searching out the secrets of the nature. So, as he was brilliant enough in his studies, so what he started doing, he started knowing the movement of the wind. As young as he was, he started knowing the different kinds of natural things like wind, how was it works, what is the strength of the wind. So being a poet, his time was to learn some sports and other events, but going against the boyhood nature, he started searching out the natural things of the environment, and actually he came up with so many inventions and discovered so many new things in his life, and thus we are enjoying the fruit of his hard work even today. Not far from his grandmother's residence was a windmill which operated on a new plan. Isaac was in the habit of going there frequently and spending hours explaining its various parts. While the mill was at rest, he examined its internal machinery. When its board sail were set in motion by the wind, he watched the process by which the millstones were made of. and crush the grain that was put into the hopper. His sharp mind grasped every detail as he was. So, as he started going to the windmill, he learned the very machines of there and their internal parts, and naturally, he came up with the machine which we use to press the crops or seeds of crops and get the flour out of it. And this was also discovered and invented by the only person whose name is Isaac Newton. So till today we read only this much, and we'll continue to read the lesson in the next video. Hope you understood the video. In case you don't get it and you have a doubt, please send me the message personally.